Hey, we're live.
Yeah, we are. We are live. So, how are you doing?
Good, good. It's afternoon. The weather's not good, so I've been.
Weather's not
Been
good?
weather's not good. It's been super warm last weekend, but now it's raining again. So it's April weather here.
Did
Strong
you
winds. So
did,
no FPV flying today.
no. Did you do anything with the eclipse or whatever? Or did that affect you or was it in your line?
No, no. The only thing I tried to see is whether somebody has posted like cool FPV footage. Um, maybe fly a tiny whoop all the way to the sun or whatever. But so far, no. But I know it's a big thing. All the people I'm chatting to in the US saying like, "Oh, I want to do something," kind of like the fireworks. New Year and Independence Day. There's always quad pilots are very excited to fly through fireworks and anything that happens in the sky. Right, has to be captured.
Yeah.
No, but so far here's just a normal week. Just a normal week. But
What's your
you've been traveling, right?
well?
Seeing it,
Yeah,
I've seen some of the.
yeah.
Um,
So first, my O3 quad just stopped working.
yeah,
It always happens with like the most expensive setup or something. Like something goes wrong.
yeah, and always 2 days before you want to do something special.
Yep. So then I'm just like, okay, you know what? I got a couple hours. Let's build one, right? Let's do a new build. And sure enough, that always takes 6 hours instead.
Yeah,
But then I did it and I got the GoPro on it.
yeah,
And then of course I can't just fly it gentle, right? So I smacked it around and now it's missing the fan and whatever. And then I
yeah.
wasn't even sure if it's gonna work, but it worked. Yeah.
Trip to Hawaii, and then it was like, oh, let me test my Cinewoop one more time before I fly, like 2 days later. And of course, for some reason, I think an ESC just died on me randomly. And then it's flying out on a Monday, so it's literally Saturday, right? FPV shops is like no way I can get something in time, so it's like calling up all my friends. Hey, do you have a spare flight controller you can give me? And then yeah, it was like Sunday evening, still soldering together, hover testing it, and then taking it to Hawaii. But it's always like 2 days before you want to do something special with a quad. It breaks down on you.
Yeah. Yeah. So I had three. So I brought that. It was all analog now, back to analog, right? So I got
Yeah,
this one
nice.
for the vertical, and then this little thing, yeah, the Drac Knight with a
Oh yeah,
Runcam thumb
yeah.
on it.
How do you
So
like that one, the Drag
I
Knight?
surprisingly I do like it.
Yeah,
I do. It has no other little like tiny thing to me has like carried the momentum the way that
yeah,
that is. Like the way a toothpick feels when you're flying like a toothpick.
yeah,
It's kind of missing something sometimes. The weight and the thing that the Drac Knight feels really good. Like it feels like you're surprised by how much momentum and weight that you can feel when flying it, that you wouldn't really expect to have that out of such a little thing. But what I do notice from it, for some reason, it makes, I don't know if you know, like the Sky Zone goggles.
yeah,
Sometimes you get the rolling shutter, like not a
yeah.
rolling shutter, you get like where the video starts going sideways on you. And it's been pretty good with my other setups, but when I fly the Drac Knight, Yeah, when I fly that thing, I have to fly it in diversity mode. I can't use mix mode, or else it just starts doing that thing in the middle of flight where it's
Yeah.
like, oh no, I'm gonna lose everything.
Yeah, no, it's I remember back from my analog days, and I only have one analog whoop at the moment. So ever
Oh yeah,
since I switched to a DJI many years ago now,
because
it's like I never went back to analog. Even whoops, not 65 millimeters, but 75 and 85. I used to, Cadex Vista, make it naked and shave off every gram, so it's barely flyable. But it was still worth it to me compared to the old analog days. So even now I have Voxnail now, and I have the analog adapter, and I have one quad because I was planning to participate in a whoop race, which obviously they don't allow with Voxnail.
well,
Only
sometimes some of them do because it depends because some of the 1S walk snail it's not bad for racing.
Yeah. Yeah, so the
Like
one I'm going is like the South German league. It sounds big, but it's like 30 pilots competing on a local level.
well, did you see the Canadian Championship?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't follow it, but I saw a couple videos, I think from you, or no. Yeah, you were interviewing people.
I was just being dumb. Oh man.
The tight or loose.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, do you like your gimbals tight or loose?
I'm more on the loose side. I'm more on the loose side. But actually, I'm not sure. Like the remote I have now, the jumper one, it's just to be honest, I didn't bother to see what I have to open up to adjust the spring tension. So it was like, we'll get used to it. So it's default tightness, whatever that is on these
And that
gimbals.
one has like the CNCs.
This one is with the RD90 better gimbals. Before that was the AG01. The on this one, on this thing here, which I still use once in a while. But these are nice.
So you like the jump more than the Zorro?
Yeah, it's I fly wings. The Zorro just these knobs are useless, so I take them over. So you're ending up with 4 switches and then momentary buttons, and these here, there's like no chance you ever find them in flight. So for the planes that have like pan servos and things like that, and return to home and mission controls and things like that, I just need more switches.
Yeah, I haven't messed around with any of that. I think I'm in too deep with the FPV.
Yeah. No, I mean, quads basically need what do you need? An arm switch and a turtle switch, and modes if you feel like it. But essentially, you need 3 switches, and that's about it.
Yeah, flip after crash, arm, and beeper.
Yeah, or beeper, yeah. So yeah, but planes have a bit more. I mean, it's fun to fly FPV wings as well.
Can you see what they're saying in the chat? Are you able to see that?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, just curious. Yeah.
Good morning.
Ghost, are you? we have a buddy. He goes by 416 FPV, and I think he is. He's in mode 3 or whatever. He has everything backwards, so no one can. No, you can't
really?
let him. You can't let him try any of your stuff, and you can't try his stuff because everything's weird.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, mode 3. I don't know anyone with mode 3. Actually, I don't know anyone except mode 2. I think.
I don't even know if he's in mode 3 or mode 1. It's basically just reversed, and it's strange.
Yeah.
So, are you sponsored by Walksnail?
I'm so I got lucky, and I have sponsorship, but it's like I think in the contract, it says like level B or level 2. So it's not like I get everything for free. Sponsorship is they give you a promo code which gives you a certain percentage of purchases of all the walk snail stuff. So from goggles to VTXs.
So you get like a link that if people use, you get a little bit, and then they give you like a 30% discount or whatever.
Yeah, just for the stuff I buy for myself. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I was just curious because I saw that and I was like, oh, interesting.
Yeah.
How'd that happen? Did you reach out to them? Did they reach out to you? Tell us.
Yes, I can tell you. So the beginning was IGAO, International Game of Whoop, with where I participated like all the way from IGAO 1. No, IGAO 4 finished, and IGAO 5 is probably going to start in a couple months. And ever since I switched to DJI, I was like, I'm going to compete with, DJI pig whoops that weigh like a ton for indoor and outdoor stuff. And at some point, I became IGAO team pilot, not by skill, which is very important. So my pilot tag, average FPV, is exactly what it is. I'm nowhere near the best pilot, but just consistently participating in it, compensating lack of fly skills with like creative video editing and nice music and things like that. So that got rewarded, and I became IGAO team pilot. And at that point, I reached out to Walksnail and said, hey, for IGAO 4, I would switch from DJI to Walksnail if you give me a little something, and I'll just push, basically show among all the analog footage, will show that Walksnail, what was it, Beta FPV 75 was the only thing at that point, is also capable of freestyling, essentially, right? So whenever people say, oh, you can't power loop indoors with a digital build, they're so heavy, or you can't MADI flip or whatever, right, trippy spin, you can say, no, if you really want to, you can. Right? Is it the best experience? No. Is it like driving a van through a rally course? Yes. But is it doable? Absolutely, right? So don't give me excuses like, oh, it's this build's fault and digital can't do micros. It's possible. I want to show that. And then they said, yeah, okay, here's your sponsorship for a year. Actually, I have to renew it next month or so.
So then you try and make it a little bit better.
Maybe, yeah, I say, give me 2% more off. I don't know.
Did you fly 5-inch, or do you mostly fly?
I started with 5-inch. Was it 4 or 5 years ago? And I recently got back into building my first 5-inch in years. It's here. It's just a regular 5-inch, but I slammed it a little bit.
Pirate?
Pirate frame, sloop. Because I got it cheap. They have newer frames now, so the old one got cheap. And I wanted the simple one I can slam. So this is like now on 15 millimeters. No, 20 and 12 in between.
Nice. They're good looking frames.
Yeah. No, I like the looks of it, and being in Europe, trying to support. I think they're French, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Have you seen the Gravity ones? Gravity, the one like Farouk flies. Do you know who is?
Yeah, Farouk, I know. Yeah, I'm not sure if I've seen the frames.
The Vega Gravity frames. Those look interesting too. Like I don't know. Are you watching now on Phantom? He's doing like the series with the top 10 like strong 5-inch frames. So that you might find that interesting. You know who Phantom is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he made a lot of the trick tutorials we'd like learn from. But Phantom's always been a really like cool guy, and he's doing series now where he basically ordered like the top 10 like popular 5-inch frames, and he's going to put them through like tests and see how long they last. So I'm watching that. even though I don't fly 5-inch, I find that kind of stuff interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, the reason is, so I started with 5-inch because 5-inch was basically all there was back in 2000. When did I start? Like 18 or 19, right? Was the good old days of there's 5-inch and there's nothing else, maybe tiny whoop.
Tiny
But
whoop
then
is,
as things
I
got
hate
on,
tiny whoops.
it went more into micros, so 3-inch, 3.5-inch.
The
Which is where I
diatone, like
used to live. The
349.
spots were getting smaller and smaller, or let's just say you have more spots you can fly with a micro, right? You can go to schools, you can go to smaller office complexes, and I was living in Switzerland, so everything's tiny, right? Everything's tiny, everything is nature. So as soon as people hear like a 5-inch anywhere except the empty field, or it's like, oh, what are you doing? I mean, they also look scary, right? They sound scarier, they're heavy. If you show a person like, oh, we're flying these things, and they weigh it in their hand, there's like, oh, you could kill my puppy with it. And if you come with like even 3-inch looks more like a toy, and if you
Oh
go
yeah.
2-inch, 2.5-inch, it's definitely a toy. So
Yeah. People are happy when they like. I've always found like people are happy when they see my drone.
yeah, you can see the reactions, like, oh, they're interested, they want to know how much it costs, and sometimes where they can get one for their kids or whatever. So it's been
Yeah.
mostly micro flying, but now I discovered a couple of wing spots where you need much more space. And then suddenly micros are boring, right? Because if you have a big field and big trees and you have your 2-inch, whatever, 3-inch quad, you feel like, 5-inch might be nice. So I got cheap motors, old parts, and a discount frame, and built it, I think, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 or 3 weeks ago, so still very new.
I'm looking at your page a little because I'm just like, I remember I found anyone flying sub 250, I basically find them and creep them and stuff. And I
Yeah.
think I just, that's how I found you, because it's just, I like your, did you make your logo?
No, I had it done by, what's the name of the guy? I'm super bad with names. But he did a couple logos also for Conasti, I think. Conasti and one of the pretty famous TBS sticker sheets. I think they still send it, like the black and white one. I think he designed.
So I remember,
it wasn't super expensive, but I just asked, I think the iGao chat, like, hey, who's designing logos? And they pointed me towards him. Super nice dude. So he did that back in the day.
I found you freestyling the, there were a couple. There was the Hornet Y6.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, you flew that very nicely.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the way that those? How do you? So that one has 3 motors on top, 3 motors underneath, like, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So
Have
it's the
you
Y,
flown
there's
it?
2 arms in the front, 1 in the back, and every arm has 2 motors.
Yes. Have you flown? Have you flown the same thing with 3 motors?
No.
No, just
No,
with
so
the
3 doesn't work.
No.
No, you need at least 4. So there's a Y4, which is 2 in the front and 2 in the back. You need the 2 in the back to sort of yaw, I think. There is Y3, but then you have like a servo that turns the tail.
Doesn't feel as good.
No, and servos, plastic servos, you crash once and then you replace the whole thing. So
I don't know. But yeah, I just, your channel's interesting. You have good flow, and I saw
thank
you
you very much.
also with the fox swoop. You were freestyling the fox swoop, because
Yeah.
I hate hate whoops, and I hate cine whoops. And I got the, how everyone says the Cinelog 25, like everybody loves that thing. I couldn't tune it. It was shaking and
Yeah.
driving me nuts. So
Yeah, the fox swoop.
You like the Fox Whoop?
It's a loud frame, so there's maybe a bit on whoop freestyling. So coming from iGal, right, and freestyling
Yep.
tiny whoops, there's always. I mean, I really like just crashing into things without bent props, right, and every time. And for smaller things, I think it's better to turtle a whoop than an open prop thing where, even if it's a 4S 3-inch, as soon as there's like one piece of scraggle somewhere in the way of the prop, you can't turtle. I feel so. So the freestyling whoops is what I still like to do. And so as we went to 2.5 and 3.5-inch whoops, it's again, it's not the best thing to whoop to freestyle a whoop, but it's definitely doable. And just bumping it against trees and walls and just being fine is something I really like. So the Cinelog 35, is it Cinelog? Yeah, very nice frame, but the
new one, like
ducts
the
break.
skinny bot?
I
Is
only
it
had the first one.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
the ducts broke pretty quickly,
Yeah.
obviously because it's not intended to crash like a freestyle drone. And then Foxier had the unbreakable Fox Whoop. So I bought one, and then somehow I found out they're doing a 3.5-inch version, and I reached out to them and got one at launch date.
Nice.
And I thought, okay, what I'm gonna do is just freestyle the thing and see what it's capable of. Yeah, and that one got quite a lot of views because also the frame at that time was pretty famous, right? And Nick Burns was slamming it against walls, and like every FPV pilot that got one was like smashing it with a hammer, and so it was a pretty fun frame. But it's super loud. I think it's the material or something about the ducts is like way louder than other same size.
They vibrate in the weight, right? Like it's just
There's some.
It's crazy how much sound the like Cinewhoop things make, because it's like you want to be able to like fly this around people and it's smooth and gentle, and instead it's like
Yeah.
it's like, oh no. I also
the worst I had was do you know Race Whoop?
Yep.
It's like especially the French
The
I think developed
HGLRC.
it, and then HGLRC sort of made their version out of it. And this thing is ridiculously loud. So I built one. The concept itself is ridiculous because it flies on 6S. It's 2.5-inch, right?
Yeah.
It runs 2004 motors that are 2000 plus kV, but you run it on 6S with 5-blade props, and the whole thing weighs like 300 plus grams for a 2.5-inch whoop.
Yep.
Now it flies good, it's super fun.
Because it has that power
so
and
loud.
momentum.
It's louder than any other, including 5-inch, any other drone I've ever heard.
Yeah.
So you couldn't fly it anywhere, like in a park, no. Like dogs would come running from a mile away because they hear that thing. Any urban spot, there's no chance. So I flew it like twice, and then I sold it.
Yeah, like the new setup I got, it has a nice sound to it. You know, when it has like just enough sound where it's like when you do your movements and stuff, you hear it and it's like, oh yes, it's like authority.
Which one? The 3.5?
Yeah, basically this. So
this thing, okay, nice.
Yeah, this thing, like it's the first time.
Is it 3.5 or is it 3?
Yeah, it's
It's
3.5.
hard to tell on the phone. 3.5, yeah.
3.5. But it's the first time that I actually bought like a proper FC. So like I got a F7 blade, like the Rush FC.
Yeah.
And I'm just like I don't know yet whether it's just the FC or whether it's just this configuration.
Yeah.
Because same thing with the O3. I noticed that this configuration, the pusher with the battery toilet tanked on top and the stack underneath.
Yeah.
So you have all the weight on the bottom of the drone, and then you have the battery on top. So it's just the center of gravity is just insane. Like the way that it just feels so like locked in and balanced.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
and
Yeah, that's
then
why
even
I squished this frame just to
yeah,
get the LiPo closer to the prop line.
and it makes and those ones you can toilet tank them too, right?
This one, I'm not sure. The newer ones, definitely yes. No, this one doesn't have the slits
No,
to toilet tank, I think. No. But this is like an old 3-year-old frame.
because I remember they were one of the first frames that had the like they're 3.5. The one that they have, it has the toilet tank on it, and Vanover basically I think started doing it, and then some other people, PVPDEX or whatever, PivDex or yeah. It's a very like strange thing where I just did it to try and get props out of view for the action cam without doing a dead cat. And then when I flew it, I'm just like, this is just nuts. It's just I have control that I never thought I'd have. I thought it would be worse, right?
So is that going to be your default setup?
Yeah, I'm starting to do that now, and I'm working on two new. Actually, I got them. I don't know where they are. Yeah, I got two new. These you'd probably like. I got two new frames. I got a 2.5.
Yeah, nice.
So this is basically so that you can do like a little digital freestyle.
Yeah.
Like as small as you can and still have a little bit of a basher. And then this is just like the bare minimal, like
what's that,
I don't
2
know.
inch or 45?
Yeah, this is 2-inch.
Yeah.
And then this one is 2.5.
Nice.
So like basically one to be a little bit beefier, you can beat around, and the other to just be like the bare minimal, right? Light as possible.
Yeah, frames is interesting topics. I mean, to be honest, I care probably more about frames than I should.
Well,
like
no,
motors, it's just like, oh, whatever. And FC, I'm still running. Most of it is like old F4.
Well, the old ones have the M6000 on them, right?
Yeah.
So I haven't bought anything really since like everything I bought, like I bought a lot of stuff back when I started, and all of it had the M6000. So I haven't been like buying stuff with like except for whoops, but other than that, like I haven't been buying like big stacks or anything. I have a buddy, he was here, Ghost FPV, and basically I've found things like where I find a 5-inch on Marketplace and I buy it, and then I take the electronics off of it, and then I give him the frame and the motors, and then he gives me an FC or something, and we've done that a couple times.
Yeah. No, it's a similar story for me. I endlessly keep recycling parts. So the Y6 you saw, not existing anymore, but the motors of that Y6 are on this one here. So if you remember how old the Y6 video is, I think 2 years ago, it's still the same motors and the FC. So I built this tiny trainer, which I like, but I don't fly it often. There's a second one that is basically the VTX already gone into another build. Next up will be, the FC. If I need an FC, I'll probably just tear this one apart. So all my stuff is like years old, and surprisingly little breaks, I feel.
Well, when you're good at flying, that's the thing. Like it takes a few years to get decent enough that you're not breaking your stuff anymore.
Like, I mean, I still crash, but maybe there's something like you throttle. I do seldom like full throttle. I didn't see that pole. I crash into it kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Most of it is let's say you miss a Matty and you crash into the ground. It's a crash, but it's not like a full on. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm crashing full throttle into the ground kind of thing. So maybe that's why.
Yeah,
Or the old stuff is just made more durable. I don't know.
I think it's as you get better at flying, you get better at crashing. or like once in a while you just totally kill it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, whoop stuff still breaks a lot, but
I hate
that's because it's built the way it is, right? People want to shave another 0.1 gram, and I mean, if you looked at beta FPV or any AIO from 2 years ago, how thick it is, and now they're like super thin, and
yeah, they're not making electronics very well, especially like the bigger companies. Like there's that one company that seems to be doing good, Tune RC, where they're a little bit thicker.
Yeah.
But I haven't flown their stuff yet. Because basically I bought every single bind and fly so that I could finally figure out what the heck I like. Because I hate tiny whoops so much. So I'm like, I'm gonna just buy them all, try them all, and then be like, I'm done. Like for you, your Necron 75. That you printed that? Tell me the story.
that was a fun print. Yeah, lasted exactly 2 lipos.
Okay,
then I crashed and
have you tried printing it in like in carbon or in like PLA plus or something like that?
No. Maybe I should have, but it was a super interesting concept, but definitely not made for freestyle at all.
Okay.
So it was I found it, I think, on Thingiverse somewhere. I was like, cool, I'm gonna print this, and then with my old 3D printers, like Ender 3 something, barely was able to print it, and then I flew it twice and crashed it, and then again the parts went in another build. So I have but it was definitely fun to assemble it and to look at it. I mean, it's
yeah, I'm about to put Clipper on my basically Ender 3 clone, but not looking forward to doing that either.
I'm wondering, like, at what point there's a couple of like AI assisted or generated frames. There's also 5-inch one, which you can't buy. That was just more like a proof of concept.
Yeah, they look.
When you look at where it creeps into construction and architectures and airplane design and whatnot, it's probably a matter of time until the Chris Rosser type dude comes and says, you know what, here's a new generation of frames that are 50% stronger and 20% lighter.
Here's the V2. Wait, the V3, the V4, the V5, the V6. He's one of the ones that just, I don't know, like nothing against him as a person, just as like a drone designer. I don't really. I feel like he just milks the cow because he can.
I mean, I never liked the design of his frame.
Yeah, I was like the first ones. I'm just like he should have got an award for like ugliest frame of the year.
So this one as well. I mean, is it the beefiest frame? No. Is it like anything special? No. It's just like it doesn't even have a split deck design, but it's just like the little things on the arms, like the way they designed. Yeah, the cutouts and the round lines, and it's just like I don't know. I just like to look at it, like to fly it.
And that's a big part, I think, too, psychologically. When you like the way something looks, you enjoy it more.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, most of the time it just sits here and has to look pretty. So
what's that you say, wife?
Nobody wants like
okay.
Don't want.
Okay, Mama, you want to come join? Oh, wow, you're agreeing with me. Who'd have thought? It's a milestone here, everyone.
Should push the like button now.
What does your wife think about the drone stuff?
She tolerates it. Let's put it this way.
Has she watched Flow State with you yet?
No. She's just like, you get your time off, do your thing, but don't do it all day and all night.
So
That's what I live with all day, all no valley.
So, but we
Oh, I
had arguments. We had heavy arguments, like, oh no,
Heavy
your
arguments.
hobby's taking over too much of our time, and then I had a big fight. Not big fight, but I was like, yeah, you want me to quit? So, here goes all my drones. I was like, throw them against the wall. Obviously, none of them broke, but I was like, okay, I'll quit. Yeah, but it's a hobby that takes some time, right? You forget that you go out to the spot. Like in my mind, I'm just flying for 2 hours, right? But in her mind, I'm going to the spot for an hour, and then I talk for an hour, and then I fly 2 hours. I drive an hour back, and then I start editing. So for her, it's like, okay, you've been at your hobby for 8 hours. I'm like, what, 8 hours? No, it's been 2 hours. I've been only flying 2 hours. And she's like, no, this. But I mean, there's worse hobbies. She says there's worse hobbies. So
Yeah, yesterday, because we did the eclipse. I'm an idiot. I should have just went to sleep, but I'm like, oh, I'm going to be one of the first people to get my video up, and then everyone's going to watch it. So I literally was up editing until like 7. So I slept for like 2 hours. And my video has 2 views.
And one is me, and the other one is you.
No, I don't know. It's from my vlog, so it's the other channel, but it's just like I have the whole totality. So like I'm flying through the air, I have the sky going like black, and then I have I'm in the FPV like filming the sky as the light starts coming out. It's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't know. Did you set the brightness like to
No,
manual?
So what I did was I just shot at 30 frames a second because I wanted more light, and if you do 60, it's a little bit darker. Usually I do like 60 frames per second. I don't do 120, I do 60 usually. But because I knew it was going to be darker, I did 30. And I locked the ISO between like 100 and 400. And yeah. And basically, and then shutter at 60. No, what is it? You have one at 30 and then the other's double that. What am I talking about? Aperture's at 30
FPS?
and then speed's at 60. I don't know what I'm saying.
I mean, to be honest, I have no idea whatsoever about. So I just enjoy the flying. So most of the time, it's just straight either DJI or walk-style footage out of the VTX. And then I have this CADX peanut thing, which it's just fun to mount on different things. The only GoPro I have is this Session 4, I think.
Oh, well, you have one.
And the door doesn't even close.
Oh, does it work though?
Sorry?
Does it work though? Can you like tape it or whatever?
Yeah, it works. Yeah, it stopped working, and then I just took the whole thing apart. So this is all like
nice
duct tape. And then it was a ribbon cable that came off, but I had to cut open the whole, because this thing is like molded in plastic.
Yeah.
And now it's just a piece of non-waterproof, whatever. It's just a piece of Velcro to stick it on a plane or on a quad. But that's about as enthusiastic I am about HD footage and camera settings.
Hey, I built this channel on like garbage footage anyways. So it's like after a couple years, I'm like, finally you get to see something pretty. But with DJI, I'm getting to the point where I'm just like, I just think that I might not buy anymore. I might just keep pushing and wait till companies maybe start giving me better stuff, right? Because it's just.
So you're flying analog and DJI?
HD0 analog and DJI, but I broke like 7 Vistas and now I have like 2 dead O3s. and it hurts. Especially if I didn't smash, like if I smash it and it dies, then I feel good about myself. Like I feel okay, you know, it's like
Yeah.
I killed it. It's my fault. But when it's just like the ribbons falling off and like
Yeah.
just stupid things, and then it's just not working. Like it was working fine, and then all of a sudden there's no video going to my goggles, and it's just there's like it's turning on, but it's not turning on strong. Like so now I can't read the files off of it. I can't like get video, so it's just really annoying to deal with that stuff. So good old analog. It just it works.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's, I have the and yeah, I think that I'm sticking to like you having those best things, like you know, you just get the Rush Solo 1.6 and be done with it, and just know you get that every time. Or the Pro 32, the Nano Pro 32. That the
Yeah.
Nano Pro 32 is bloody solid. Like the video is good. I can get to the if I can get to the top of the CN Tower, that's about
Yeah.
all I need.
Yeah, and it's one of the tried and tested. I mean, the Nano Pro 32
Yeah,
has always been right
yeah,
ever since it came out for all Whoop races. I mean, now many fly with those 5-in-1 VTX AIO things, but still,
they're not
lots.
as
If they have
clean.
external VTXs, they have the Nano Pro.
Yeah. And then the ones that have the external VTX is what I've been thinking is if I have one where I can't see the voltage, it doesn't tell me the voltage. Like it
Yeah.
went in the lake, it's a TBS all-in-one, the pod racer all-in-one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it went in the water and now it has no voltage. So what I was thinking is just sticking it on a race rig and then wiring it off of the VBAT, putting the other FC that has the built-in VTX,
Okay.
and then what you would do is you just fly it off of the other VTX. So you're controlling it with the FC, with the TBS one, but
Yeah.
you're going to see the voltage and the video. Like all you need is the video and the voltage. So you wouldn't have OSD from the regular FC that you're controlling it with, but you'd be using the video and see the voltage from the other FC that you're using kind of as a VTX.
Yeah. I mean, cameras used to have OSDs, right? Like old Foxier, like these cameras that take up to 6S.
Yeah.
Do you remember those? I'm not sure how long you've been
Some
flying
of
with them.
them do. Some of them do. Some of them
Yeah,
do.
so it
Some
was
of them
like
don't.
you have a VCC pad on your camera, and you have like a very simple OSD, which was just essentially just voltage, I think.
Yeah, not all of them have it. I think that the Predator has it, but even that's like the crazy thing is on AliExpress, I can get O3 cameras for like $30.
Oh
So
yeah,
it's just like they're cheaper than bloody analog cameras. For like the Predator V5, you're looking at $50 for a
yeah,
bloody little analog camera. So it's I'm kind of torn between like, okay, so you get the O3, I can get them for around less than $300, and that is like
Mm.
having a GoPro that you're flying, or
yeah,
you can like watch eBay and I can get like GoPro 10s for like $200, 100 to $200. You find the one specifically with the cracked back screen that still works,
yeah,
and then you're good.
yeah. And for most people, it's enough, right? It's I mean, I have friends who do long range and cinematic stuff, and obviously they want the latest GoPro on it or the DJ Action Cam, and they do color grading and all that
Yeah.
stuff. But if you watch my channel, like A, it's not part of the hobby I enjoy, the whole
Yeah.
grading and thing, and B, you can get good enough footage, I think, just to show the fun of flying and the tricks that you do and the flow and things, without having 4K footage, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, 9 out of 10 people are going to watch it on your phone.
Yeah.
Full screen if you're lucky, and in some small window most of the time. So
what do you do for work?
for work, I work in a IT company.
Okay, cool.
I'm a project manager.
FPV is recreational, like it's just fun for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, it's recreational, purely.
Yeah. See, like same thing. Like for me, it's mostly fun, but I've always, with whatever I do that's fun, like I try and find a way to make it kind of work. Because
Yeah.
I think FPV, the money isn't in selling any FPV stuff anyways. It's all in video, because once you have your setup, you go, you shoot videos and you can make money doing that. So
Yeah. Yeah, there's different. I mean, I know one guy who has essentially a drone production house and does big work for car companies and whatnot, with like proper cine lifters with black magic cams on it, and he's doing that as a proper side hustle. And another one is just doing small gigs once in a while. It's like, $200 here. I'll
yeah,
strap my GoPro on a Cinewhoop, and I do your real estate or whatnot.
yeah,
But yeah, I never wanted to mix like earning money with FPV with just having fun and flying around.
yeah. See, for me, I find it so much more fun when you get to make some money too, right? But then I've also always been self-employed, where like I've never worked for anyone or I had
Yeah.
over 50 jobs before I was
Oh, really?
19. Yeah, I did everything. I worked at all the grocery stores, at like all the restaurants, even at the theme park. I would dress up as Yogi Bear and Scooby Doo and stuff. Like, just
Yeah.
picture
But
me getting fired over
do you
and
do
over.
gigs, FPV gigs, and
Um, I've focused mostly on the designing, because it's just I didn't want to. I've had this like idea where like I don't want to move forward until I get that foundation. And from all the hair, like I have connections in the industry that I don't want to screw up. So I've always been kind of like just let it be for a while until I get to that point where I feel more comfortable, and then
yeah.
start doing that. Because if you start doing that and you're not flying good enough and you screw up, then it's kind of like
Yeah, I like I think it's God, Tommy. He has one or two good videos of what it's really like to be the FPV pilot on set. I mean,
oh
obviously he does
sure.
movies and stuff like that, but then it becomes the wake up at 5 a.m. and meetings and fly the same line a couple times, reshoot things. So that's all the parts. I mean, I like building stuff and I like flying stuff, and things I don't like is like, going deep into video production. Tuning, I hate tuning. So for the longest time, I was still flying Betaflight 3.5.7, which is the last one before Betaflight 4, where everything changed, right? Now I've switched mostly to 4, but I have a couple of friends who are very, very passionate about tuning.
Yeah.
So I just take their closest build. Like, let's say they have a 3-inch, I have a 3-inch drone. So it's like, give me your tune. It's good enough. It's way better than default. So that's what I'm going to fly. And once in a while, they'll say, oh, look, I tweaked this and that. Now this flies better. And say, okay, give me the tune. Give me the tune. I'll slap it on.
I
Slightly
found
different motors and props, but it still works fine.
I found a tune that I throw on everything from 1S to the 3.5, and I'm fine with it. I'll let you try it. You can see what you think. But basically, just ripping off people. Like, I don't know if you watch Angry Dawn.
Not actively. I mean, I know who he is, but
Yeah. So like, I really like his tunes. So I think I've basically like took his tune, and I took like rates from like Min Chan, and then I just like tweaked them. And it's just like a little, like I'm always trying like Farouk's rates, or like you find the pilots you like, test out their tune and whatever.
yeah. Yeah, what
What's
rates are you flying? Is it like-
actual 220, 800.4, then 180, 700.4. No, 800, then 0.4. Then the last one is 160, 700.4.
Okay, so 887. Mostly, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like low rates. So for the longest time I flew like 600, no, 500, 400, something like that. And then 0.4 or 0.3 expo.
Yeah.
And just for tiny whoops, I crank it up to I think it's like 800, 600 or something.
Yeah.
Which is still not crazy high. I mean, it's a couple pilots.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's at around 800. When you do a stick deflection, you get a half flip.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's that. I like that when I stick it to the end, like if I tap my stick to the edge of the controller, bam, half a flip. That's kind of
Yeah.
what I timed it to, so that like you can get used to the timing for a full flip, but you can always do half a flip on a flick, because no matter which way that you flick the drone, if you do it 2 times, you're right side up, right? So it's like you can flick and then flick.
Yeah.
Or like, so I like being able to like know that double flick anyway in your back
Yeah.
where you need to be.
That's true. Yeah, I've been playing with rates a lot, but then I like like the slower things, and for most of the things, except if you really want snappy moves and Rubik's cubes, you don't need all the degrees, right? You don't need high rates. I mean, what use is having like 900 rates?
Well,
if all
Mr.
you do
Stu
is
made
like
them.
play in the center to do your Matty flip, then you might as well give yourself a bit more slack by
Yeah.
going down with the rates.
And I like loose gimbals too, and I think that makes a difference because you're not fighting with them.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially when you're thumber. I don't know if you pinch or thumb, but
Yeah, thumb. Well, I kind of like I go up, over, and down.
yeah.
So like I use the tips of my thumbs. So I actually grind off the tips of the sticks.
Yeah.
So that it's shorter, and then my thumbs can get on them better.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, because when you're holding it and your throttle, when you push your thumb up, you have to stretch it and it strains your thumb. So if you grind it down, like you take off like 3 to 4 millimeters.
Nice.
Yeah, it makes a pretty big difference.
Yeah, every pilot has their little things they do.
Yeah, well, ergonomics, right? Like even with, have you ever used those?
Yeah. Look, I
Yeah.
have a.
There you go. Like
I'm
if
even more extreme than you. Look, I have the.
there you go, right? Because if you if you yeah, if I use a normal mouse now, like you feel that strain, right?
Yeah.
And then same thing with hairdressing. Like I learned how to hold the scissors in a way that doesn't strain the hand. Because lots of hairdressers are cutting with their hands like this, tense, and that's how you get like carpal tunnel and whatever.
Did you ever cut hair with a drone?
I was thinking about
that would be quite the video. You just attach some razor blades to your.
That's an idea. But you know what? Everyone sends me those videos, like the guy with the axe or the guy with the sword or the guy with the fire. It's like, just stop sending me these videos. Like, so I thought I should do one with like a toenail clipper.
Oh yeah, or a drone. Or a
Yeah.
drone.
Or a drone. There's an idea, right?
Yes. Okay. Coming up next week.
Yeah, I can just picture myself trying to attach razors to them, and then the razors flying off and stabbing someone.
Well, but to be honest, if you take like nice fresh props, do you think you could go through hair? I mean, it goes
No.
through flesh easily, so
I don't think so.
no. No, only one way to find out.
Shave my face with my drone.
Oh yeah, that's the next thing then. Oh, there's this one guy that does his I know it's like all kinds of stunts where he like perches on his head, and the other one
Okay.
was like he was hanging upside down with I forgot the name. But he's doing it all with a 5-inch, right? So I'm always thinking like I cut myself with a 5-inch once, and I wouldn't dare. Like one, he's like on a bar, he's hanging upside down, and then he's like flying below himself and orbiting himself with a 5-inch drone, while being like upside down, and for some reason he's like top naked as well. So it's like okay, until one day, and I think he always tags like T-Motor or something. And like I'm not sure if they're A, happy that you promote it, and B, I mean obviously do whatever you want, but there will be one day where he slips off his stick while he's trying to perch a 5-inch on his head, and then that'll be the last time he does it.
Yeah. I don't know. If you can do it, you can do it. Just the big thing is that anything that you do, you want to feel confident doing, right? And just because you can do something doesn't mean other people can. Because it's just you get that all the time where people like blame someone for doing something dumb. It's just like, well, just because he did it doesn't mean you should, right?
Yeah. No, it's definitely that. Yeah. Props off on the bench. It's like you probably can't see it, but there's like a pretty nice. Maybe you can see it. This whole thing was just like the one time I didn't take off props of my 5-inch drone back in the day.
See, I never take them off, but I have the little
Yeah.
things, right?
It was just what was it? It was do you know the remix frame? The Oh My God remix frame?
Yeah.
So there you mount the stack upside down, right? So everything was working all the time. Like I had it for half a year. And then I flashed like in the middle of the night, I flashed the new Betaflight version on it, set up everything, looked right, and there was just like, okay, now just a quick test arm. But because it was upside down, when I flashed the new Betaflight version on it, it resetted all the gyro, rotation settings.
Yeah.
And I didn't notice. And then it was just like arm. The thing freaked out because it thought it's upside down. For some reason, it's still armed. And then that was it. Like shortcut in the evening. And then like, oh, first you think like, oh, I'm bleeding to death. And then it's like, okay, no, it's not that bad actually. It's a deep cut, but it was okay. It was just like duct tape on it.
What's your favorite? Like, what's your favorite thing to fly?
My favorite thing to fly.
Everything you've ever flown.
Probably still 2-inch 2S ducted.
So what you've been flying lately?
Yeah, that's like reviving the the Shutterbug 85 Nate Payne video. Yeah. So that was for the longest time, that was my favorite thing to fly. It's just, you can fly it indoors and outdoors. I mean, indoors, if you get used to it, you can fly it indoors in your house, you can fly it in your garden. You can still do cool stuff with medium-sized spots.
I just feel like I'm dying for flight time with that.
Yeah, but just take your. I mean, mostly I crash before I finish my battery anyway, so flight time is not like that big of a thing. Like usually my flight time is 2 minutes, maybe.
Yeah,
The way I'm
and
flying.
you're doing 300s or you're doing 450s?
I'm doing, I think 350 or 380, like some G&B batteries. But it used to be like whatever Betaflight had 300.
Yeah,
because every time you buy one, they would for some reason ship it with like 2 or 3 batteries. So after buying like 4 of them, you have 8 batteries left.
Exactly.
So yeah, usually it's like 90 seconds to 2 minutes.
Well, the G&B, like I've ordered the G&Bs off of AliExpress, and they have bloody like 50 internal resistance.
Oh, really? Yeah, I mean,
That's
I
what you get
generally
for
fly
getting
with
the
shit
sale.
batteries.
What?
With like old batteries. most of them get damaged before I have my cycles on it.
The lavas are good.
Yeah, I've never
Yeah.
tried.
Yeah, they're basically on par with R lines.
Okay.
So like if you ever order off Beta FPV, get a pile of lavas.
Yeah. Yeah, lipos is the one thing I damage the most in a quad. Like every time you land upside down, especially if you have bottom mount batteries like on whoops and fly outside, it's like so often it's like water damage, dinged cell, whatnot. And that's one thing I'm pretty careful about is I don't want to burn my family to death just because I think this lipo was still okay. And these things are pretty aggressive, right? Once you have them stacked, I don't know, one starts to burn for some reason, you half your house is on fire.
Yeah, I have
especially since I have my kid. It's like I've been super cautious.
I have those fire bags, and I always have them at storage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Charge them, fly them, and then store them.
So yeah, this thing is one I pretty much enjoy a lot. All the grass and grime on here, but it's a twig frame,
Nice.
which I won in IGAO, and then the rest is like 1103, 11,000 kV.
Let me see it.
The,
Okay, cool.
yeah, and it's like super old props because I still have like 20 of them lying around.
Yeah.
And then the all-in-one is one that Beta FPV sent me. So they're always super nice, especially during IGAO. They're like, hey, you wanna? At one time they asked me if I want to try out the what is it, Pico?
Yeah.
Pico Nano or whatever it was, the under 100 gram 03 thing when it was new. They were like, would you like to try it out? Yes, and then they sent me the whole thing except the 03, of course. Put in Walksnail. And then ever since then, they're like, once in a while, they're like, hey, we have a V3 of this AIO. Should we send you one? Then yes, please. So I'm not sponsored, but they're super nice, and especially they're big sponsor of IGAO.
Is your contact Iris?
Sorry?
Is your contact with them Iris?
No, it's Anna FPV. Anna Beta FPV.
Cool.
Which, to be honest, I'm doubtful if that is one person or if they just call 7 people Anna. Because the way, like, I know so many pilots, they're like, oh, I'm chatting with Anna FPV. So either she's like on 24/7 or it's like 4 people that share the same account.
Well, haven't you thought it's interesting that's all Asian girls, like with T-Motor and like Beta? Like, I'm just like, are these all dudes? Like,
probably, yeah. I mean, no one cares, right? If they give you good advice, they remember your conversations, and they send you free stuff once in a while, then I don't care whether it's a 50-year-old dude or
I just wonder if they're trying to excite us all, you know?
maybe. I mean, yeah, but they've been super nice. So are they the most reliable? I don't know, right? They have some FC iterations that are clearly not ready for market, but then again, I have flight controllers that have been like crashing for 2 years and they're still going.
Well,
so it's like a bit of a
my 85, when I flashed it with 4.4, it blew up.
all right.
Literally,
well, write to Anna FPV, she'll give you a new one, maybe.
It blew up. So it's just Beta FPV. I have like 7 of those, like, and they gave me new ones, and then those ones stopped working too. So I have like 7 1S 5 amp boards. So it's just like I don't really want their electronics. Like what I find with them is their bind and flies are fine. Like when you buy a bind and fly off of them, it works. but then when you direct solder the board, like just direct soldering the motors, like I don't like them unplugged, so I direct solder them.
Yeah.
And as soon as I do that, like it fries either the front right or the front left ESC, where it just stops working.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, maybe I've been lucky, but I have mostly. I mean, these are all, I think, beta FPV.
and are they all direct soldered, or are
Is
you
the
using?
no? This is all direct soldered. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is the 75, whatever indoor build. This is the
Yeah.
Fractal 75 Max, I think. Yeah, it's the
So
bigger
you like
one.
your twig thing more than the fractal?
Sorry.
You like your twig thing more than the fractal?
Yeah, I mean so the thing is, once I went back to 2S 85, it's just the same thing you said at the beginning with your Drag Knight thing, right? It has a bit more punch, it has a bit more throw. So this has been, for me, after years of DJI, where you can essentially barely do 2S, 3S is better. So I had a lot of 3S 85mm whoops. Being able to go back to 1S again was like a huge thing for me. But now that it's, I'm flying more outside and it's getting warmer, it just lacks a bit of. I mean, it's flying nice. If you look at a couple of my
It flies
videos,
stable, but the weight is annoying. Like because I have a fractal too, and like I found that it's really good for like stable flight, but when
yeah,
it comes to freestyle, you feel the weight.
yeah,
For like to me, I don't even really like 1S until you get up to the 75 Pro,
yeah,
because the 75 Pro on 1S feels really, really good.
yeah,
But 75 is okay also. But yeah, anything that you can have like the 1002 motors or higher is I don't really like
yeah, I
802
agree.
or 702. Like
Yeah,
it's just they're too flimsy. They break too easily. They get hair stuck in them. So the moment that the 1002 comes out, it's like having like the bigger motors on a little thing. It's like a miniature, higher quality motor.
yeah. And I mean, you're flying analog, right? I have a heavy ass
Yeah,
Voxner VTX on every one of them. So that's an additional, I don't know,
yeah,
6 or 7 grams.
yeah.
So you feel it even more. So this thing is fun to cruise around. This thing you can definitely freestyle. But once you go outside and have a little bit more space, I really like the 85 on 2S.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. If you throw, because those are not 75 Pro frames, right? Those are like 75s.
So this one is 75 Pro.
Okay.
This one is 75. I probably can't see it, but
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
this is the Fractal Pro Max, which is for the 75 Pro
Yeah.
frame. So this one is definitely nice. I have another Fractal thing.
And have you compared like the tri blades compared to the bi blades on it?
Yeah, yeah. I like the bi blades. They're easier to tune. Or let's say I just haven't found a tune that works with three blades. But I also haven't tried too much. So what I did is Brandon's tuning service?
Beans.
Yeah, Beans. Yeah,
Yeah.
Brandon's Baked Beans tuning service. So I paid him to tune the 75 Pro back in the day, and he was super helpful. But at one point, I was like, "Hey, it flies fine on bi-blades. On tri-blades, I still get like nasty washout." And then after sending, I don't know how many times, logs and footage back and forth, I kind of started to feel bad for the guy. Because he didn't ask for more money, right? He didn't say like, "Oh, I'm trying to tune your stupid build for 2 weeks now." So at some point I said, "You know what? Bi-blades flies fantastic. I would like the sharper cornering of the 3 blades, but for now it's good enough, man." And again, I come from don't want to sound old, but when you compare how whoops flew back on 3.5.7 without RPM filters and whatnot, compared to now, like everything flies so good.
Yeah, and basically, to me, is as soon as you put biblades on, you up the KV, and you're good. It makes up for it.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I only have one kind of motors, which is the 22,000 1102s. And I have it on this one.
That's
on
fine
this
for
one.
most people, anyways. We're not all racing.
Yeah, it's on this one as well. So it's the when I like a
Is that
part,
the Odana?
that's the Orunata. Yeah, that one's really fun. But again, if you crash if it's like upside down, even on flat ground, it's just like no way to turtle. So it's more like a cruise around kind of thing.
All you gotta do is 3D print a little fin for the front.
Maybe, yeah.
Do you fiddle with 3D prints? Like, do you design stuff too?
Yeah, mostly for wings, and then some cam holders. So this cam holder, obviously the carbon one didn't fit off the original because I slammed it. So I'm not super big into 3D design. So it's like Tinkercad, right? You download 3 things from Thingiverse and you stitch them together and clean it up a little bit, and that's good enough.
I don't even think I know how to do that. But I've messed around with Fusion so much that I can just design anything from scratch.
Yeah, I mean, Fusion is the real deal, right? Tinkercad is like Microsoft Paint versus Photoshop. It's like you can do the
But
bare.
I still would like to know how to do all that stuff. But I think it's like I've persevered through it. Like the other day, I spent 2 hours just trying to get the on the motors, the 3 when you do motor holes for bigger motors, it's 4, so it's easy to do an equal 4. But when you do it for the tiny drones, it has the 3 holes. So how do I get those holes even? And I couldn't figure it out. And there's a bloody little setting where you click the circle, and it just does it for you so easily. And I'm just like, why didn't I know this? Because I didn't take the proper I didn't take the proper courses.
Yeah, I tried Fusion 360. I even got help from the guy who designed the cockroach frame from Newbie Drones. Forgot his name, but he sat down like 2 hours on a Skype call with me, giving me the basics of how to work it. But I still couldn't figure it out. And it's little things like this one, the butt here. Like half of it was done. I added the ELRS thing at the bottom, and I changed the size of the hole so my antenna would fit snug. So like little modifications I do, and then I call it a day. So I always also don't really like to share my designs on Tinkercad, because as soon as somebody downloads it and has a look at it, they just see that things don't line up perfectly. But it's good enough to be printed and be on a frame that gets damaged anyway. So the rest. So this friend here is one that a friend of mine, Berat, builds, and I thought of it. So it's a 3.5 inch. We call it the Slamonade, which for some reason looked like a lemon. So you have the lemon.
No, I think
Velcro. But we said what we want to do is
put
in a naked air unit in the back and the AIO in the front, and then slam it as much as possible. And this has been super fun frame to fly. So obviously I switched to Vox now, so there was no use for this one anymore. But this has been super fun to see him. Basically, I would watch him on a Skype call, design the stuff, and I would tell him like, oh, can you make this like a little bit more, and let's try this out, and can you add 20 by 20 or 25 by 25, and just watch him design it was like super fun. So yeah, I still love this one. At some point I have to rebuild it, but frame design is something I respect a lot. And if I had skills, I would definitely.
Like, it was a friend that did it for you?
Yeah. Called Berat Builds. So as his name says, he's a he flies everything, like from planes to tiny whoops, and he even does these battle bots. You know, the robots that kill each other. He does like the ant weight or something. It's like ridiculous. It has to be below like 100
The little
grams or
ones.
something.
The little ones?
Sorry?
Like the little ones?
Yeah, he does the lightest class, so it looks like a tiny whoop with wheels and a
That's
chainsaw
fun. That'd
attached to
probably
it.
be really fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another hobby I shouldn't get into, because if I get into a hobby, it's like obsessive, and then next thing you know.
Next thing you know, you're out at drone battles, like battle bots. Oh man.
Yeah. I saw your last videos, the night building dives, which was super nice. It was essentially up and down a tower and across the street in nighttime.
Yeah, I was on my way home and I wanted to kill a couple packs.
Yeah, that's super. That's one thing I miss, because I live on the highest thing in my neighborhood is the church, and that's like 5 stories high or something. So, you know, diving buildings is every time I'm in a big city, I take this little guy.
Yeah,
and then I just sneak in.
Tell me about the video you posted that people bothered you.
You know, it's just those building dive videos, right? You're super excited that you did a building dive 100 stories high or whatever, and then you post it, and then you have people like, oh, it's people like you that make this hobby like that make regulations be tighter and tighter. But the thing was, there's this old joke, right? Of, hey, I found this SD card and look at the footage that was on it.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the same thing in Canada and the US, but in Europe at least, you know, many say, look at this crazy footage I found on an SD card, just to say, you know, I didn't fly. But so I said, look, I found a SD card with cool building dives. Have a look at it. And because I said SD card, probably because back in the day, all you could record was GoPro, right? I think many people thought it's a 5-inch or you know, something carrying a GoPro diving buildings. So there was quite a lot of backlash. Like, what if you hit people? But yeah, it was this thing, which is like, I don't know what it is. It's like 35 grams plus 1S lipo, and the people there were totally cool with it. Like waving
See,
at it.
with that, what you have to do is, if that negativity ever comes, just think of it as positive engagement. And every single one of those comments, just say something positive, cheeky, you know, like, yeah, you're right. I'm going to ruin the hobby for everyone.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
I mean, it's not worth it. I just took it down. I mean, obviously, all the people I know, for the IGA community and whatnot, when I shared it in the groups, they loved it. So I thought, you know what, I don't have to impress people I don't know. So I just took it down.
negativity, you can actually grow you can grow a channel so much faster than pissing people off than you can, you know. There's that saying, you know, if you try to please everyone, you just please no one. So
yeah,
you gotta know, like, if you didn't mean to do anything to bother anyone or whatever, then it's just, if they get bothered, that's the pickle up theirs, right?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, the channel as well, right? It's I'm too old to grow my channel, and also it's just, for me, it's basically a collection of flights I did.
Yeah.
When you look
Well,
at
how
like
old
my
are you?
subscribers, what do I have? Like 300. And 3 years ago I had 300, and 4 years ago I had 30. So it's not like growing in any way, but it's just here's a link, here's the hobby I like, you know, send it to friends and relatives and whatnot. So
yeah, because you like posting just mostly like flight videos, right? If you were to just add a little bit more, you know, like talk about it a bit more, so add that. Like, but if that's not what you want to do, like if you're just looking at it like Instagram or whatever, where you just post pictures to keep track of stuff, then that's nice, right? But to build a channel on YouTube, like, you either have to do stupid stuff or like, you know, make people laugh or teach them something, right? Like I
Yeah,
get bothered.
that's the one thing. Like a couple of friends started doing it. I'm probably not the guy for it, but even you, right, with the beginners to FPV channel and the tips, it's what keeps the community such a nice place. And you know, not everybody has to be a Joshua Bardwell, but you can just share
Yeah.
stuff.
And that's
And
basically like, I have my opinions. Like I try not to really hate on anyone except for Chris Rosser. Because it's just I don't know. Everyone's had that situation where they see someone kind of like
but I mean, at least he keeps the comparison videos, right? Maybe he's a bit overboard with like how scientific he is, but I miss those videos. Like there were so
I don't
many
understand them
antenna
all.
shootouts and which motor is the best and
Yeah.
props. But that thing has, I don't know, it died down a little bit, right? Like everybody is like new motors flight videos, like I don't know, that especially
You
good
remember
pilots,
his
right?
first build video?
Or infinity loops. Oh,
Oh, something happened. So when you look at his first build videos, he's using like the cheap no-name antennas from AliExpress, and I know exactly which ones they are. They're the cheapest ones you can buy, and he's using like iFlight parts, which are all like, you know. And then now it's like, now we have all these premium parts and premium whatever. Or but the thing that drives me nuts is like those arms, those the triangle arms, right? Like that makes that. It was the first ones. They had the
oh yeah.
triangle arms. It's like this makes it stronger, right? And then now on V5 we don't have the triangle arms anymore.
Oh,
So it's
really?
just, to me, I'm just like, where's the integrity, right? Like where's the, like, it's one thing to do something and to keep changing and getting better. That's okay. But to kind of come with something and be like, this is the best and this is why, and then just continuously over and over again have to change it, to me, if you get it right, you don't have to keep changing it so much, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly right.
So like
Or like infinity loops, you know, the Can It Freestyle?
yeah.
Like I've written heads like, you know what? It's like zero value because everybody knows you can freestyle anything with 4 motors, right? So so it's like, oh, here's a Cinewhoop, can it freestyle?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it took it as a joke, and you know, he's also adding like how he feels about the drone at the end of it, but it's
Yeah.
always like, can it freestyle this thing? Yes, of course. If you fly it, anything can freestyle.
And
But
that's
these reviews, I mean, I used to love these, you know, Joshua Bardwell. Here is 2 rapid fires side by side in the same quad, and this one has the Foxeer antennas on it, and this one has whatever, and then he compares. Like those videos, I liked a lot, but they've
well, that's
become.
because you learn from it.
Sorry.
That's because you learn from it. We like things that we learn from.
Yeah, yeah.
We need to learn, or we need to be entertained. Like, to me, one of the greatest videos I've ever seen is Bot Grinder with the hot dogs.
I haven't seen that one. I have to check it
So
out later.
he takes a Meteor 85 and he
Yeah.
puts a hot dog on it, and he flies it with a bloody hot dog on it. And I'm just like, I'm jealous of him for thinking of that. Like, the man is so creative.
Yeah, Bob Grinder is a character.
Okay, who's your favorite pirate? Who's your favorite pilot?
Pilot of all time.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, the video that really got me into FPV was Schizo. He has a one called, I think, Tree Dance. And that was like my video where I said, okay. And then Umagod, back in the days when he was freestyling. I mean, now he's obviously doing production stuff, but I always enjoyed his videos because he has he really has skills. Right? If you watch some of his one pack videos from 4 years ago, it's still good today. And he did like the whole thing, right? He did frame design, he did good B-roll and narrative content. He was a pretty funny guy and a nice guy. So
Yeah.
I think Umagod is one of my favorite pilots. Yeah, his frames were like really cool, right? The remakes and the Acrobat, the first like 3-inch HD one, and how he thought about the frame design and this dirty and clean section with the grommets. And so for me, he was like yeah, maybe it's him. He's just the all-rounder, right? He can be funny. He makes frames. He's a good pilot. Is probably my favorite, and it's too bad that he's not doing it anymore.
No, he's doing it. He's just doing it big time.
Yeah. I mean, yes. Now he's earning the big bucks with that.
Yeah, he made
about
the
you?
video. Did he make that video "Life of a Drone" or something where he like does the voiceover with the drone that's
Oh
flying?
yeah,
or
I think
something?
yeah.
I really liked that one. And when I was starting, he was doing his 250 when he was doing the videos explaining
Yeah.
like the build. So I enjoyed those, and I talked to him a little bit too.
Yeah.
But I never ended. Still probably should. It's just the reason I didn't get the 250 frame is because it's just it needs those motors and
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
getting all those 5-inch parts that can only be used on one frame.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and the ridiculous battery, right? The 6S400 or something.
Yeah.
And then yeah, Mika. Do you know Mika? Mika FPV. I'm not sure if he has FPV behind it, but Mika, MEEKAH.
I will check.
It's like a little panda logo. Like
Maybe.
MEEKAH.
Okay. MEE. Let me do this. the bloody. I just uploaded
He has a panda logo thing.
Mika. MEE.
This guy is. I always watch his videos because he's always full on risk.
Okay.
Full throttle through everything and like epic crashes. I mean, obviously has skills, but
Okay, he's got a cool frame too. This Bando V2. That I like. I can already.
I like his videos. It's always like upbeat music mostly, and then just like full on. Can I hit that gap with like 80 miles an hour?
So is he flying at what angle is he? It looks like he's not flying at a steep angle.
No, I don't think he is. No.
He's flying at like a 15-degree angle.
Yeah. No, he's just fearless. I feel like he doesn't care whether his quad will be in a million pieces the next second. It's just let's go for it. And like ridiculously long power loops into gaps and things like that.
Yeah, you have to though. Like that's the thing. Like you have to believe. Like, you have to believe that you can do it. Because if you don't believe you can do it, you're not going to be able to.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's a very like when you go through that stage, that's when you destroy the most. When you go from like, okay, I need to get to the next level. I'm going to believe I can do it. And then you start doing very dumb things for a while. Like I've had like a summer of vistas. That's what I could call it. A summer of dead vistas where I have 7 dead vistas because I'm just like, I can do it and I can't. I just like my polar camera, the first polar, right into a pole.
Yeah. No, it's really, for me, it was in IGAO, I learned all the basic moves. So when I started out, I could do a power loop, and that was about it. Now I would say I have the basic tricks down. I mean, obviously, there's like a couple combos and things. Oh, yeah.
Just
Is that the
checking
Mika
out.
video?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like 30% faster than I would personally dare, and he just goes for it, and I love. Like he doesn't do like super ridiculously difficult moves, right? He doesn't do like a triple flip, Matty, whatever, but he's always just like find the next gap and go full throttle. Like look how fast he enters. Like he
It's
obviously knows the
interesting.
spot.
You know what's interesting about it though? He's using his drops always to get his speed because he doesn't have the angle, right? So it's like he's going up and then he's using the fall to power through the like to get him really moving, he keeps using the drops to like get that speed, and then he's just going straight a lot.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, but still, you know, this is a massive spot. So whenever he crashes, it's like one thing I hate, right? Walk 5 minutes up to the quad just because you try to hit the gap like 500 meters away, and then you do the endless shame of walk. But he just doesn't care, right? This is just his good footage. So how many times did he crash on that day and just go retrieve the quad? And then
he gets some air though too. Like see how he like goes up and then boom.
Yeah, so he only posts like once every couple weeks or months, but I always watch his videos. What about you? Any secret or famous pilots?
I like Phoenix. And I like there's a Bubby video. I don't know if you saw the Bubby video where he's at the like at one of those like kind of like playground places. Like he's at like a theme
There's a lot of videos,
He's at a theme park. Let me see. Bubby, I'll show you. There's just this one video that he has. I don't watch I like when he has like more interesting stuff, but like I find his flight style very nice, but I don't really watch everything all the time. I watch a lot of it. But there's one video where it's just that's the one that I can just watch, like the track and stuff too. I really like when there's a good track. And Phoenix always has like really good tracks, but this one, like this is one of my favorite FPV videos.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah. That's just like endless nice flow.
Yeah, the track is so bloody good, and just even here when he goes through like the little one of the look at that, like with a 5-inch. Like he just goes on and on and on. It's smooth, and he's just like, it's like I think at the time he was like 16 years old or something.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm still learning, like this moment of you made a gap and you didn't think you make it, or you do a trick, then I always have my standard move where I do my roll or backflip or whatever, which is the split second I need to catch myself to go for the next thing. And these really good pilots, they just don't have that, right? There's you know, everything looks intentional, even if they hit like the trick of the video, they just continue as if it was the
like going in there, man, with all these things, like not
here
hitting the
here would
ball.
have been some moments where he was like, maybe, oh fuck, I didn't see that pole, I almost hit it, but he just keeps on going, right? Pretends like it's all intentional. That's really impressive. And then technically the one I admire most is a guy called Oplume.
Okay, yes, I have him. I'm subscribed to him. He's amazing. He's amazing. I don't know if you watched what's the Jacuzzi J?
True J or Jacuzzi J?
Jacuzzi J. He's like I think he's Australian. I don't know. No. But he's a character. So like he has like, when you're in the mood to just get some entertainment, like he does a video where he does FPV racing. Okay, so we're gonna be racing, like, and he does like a race setup, and then he's like, okay, now we're gonna be doing the what's it called? S-bang. We're gonna spang. And he's just he's just a ridiculous character that's like super entertaining.
Okay.
And he's a good pilot too. So he always kind of puts on a show, makes it fun, makes you laugh. So Jacuzzi J.
Jacuzzi J.
Yeah, you got to check out Jacuzzi J.
Yes, we'll do.
He's funny. Yeah, I think Shutterbug I like
Yeah.
that the Shutterbug. I think he took it too far with the lightness, but it's like I learned a lot from him because
Yeah.
making things lighter does like so. There's two ways of making things faster. You can make them more powerful, which makes them heavy, or you can make them lighter, which gives them a better thrust to weight ratio. So you'll always have those options. But to me,
Yeah.
it's like make it as light as possible, but don't lose the integrity of the strength.
Mm,
Like take it as light as you can, but then have it as strong as possible without adding weight, but as light as possible without making it too light.
yeah. Yeah, he had a
And
couple of videos on I remember which ones where he tried to cut 20 grams and
the
then
stupid little drones that are connected by glue.
but I don't think he's making many videos anymore, no?
No, he's not. He hasn't.
No.
He hasn't. Like he's like we miss him. Where's he been? Right.
Yeah.
What else? So there's then Angry Dawn. I think he's quite a character too.
Yeah,
But
I only know him from didn't he have a canopy or two that were really famous? The tiny
well,
whoop canopies.
he developed most of like Happy Model.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's where I know him from. But I didn't watch his videos.
Yeah, so well he has lots of good like I learned more like tuning from his videos, like the way that he tunes stuff is good.
Yeah.
And because lots of people like the Justice tune, and I find it's pushed a little far. There's tunes where it's like they're really good, but then the moment you bend a prop or something, they start getting, twitchy because pushed too far. And then there's tunes where it's like you want it to be pushed, but you want it to be pushed, but not like to 100%. You kind of want it to be at like 80, 90.
Yeah. I like the tunes. If they work on a prop like this and still flies okay, then that's my tune. The one I like. So there's no use in I crash a lot. So if every bent prop would give me trouble, it's a tune I can't really use. Even like broken ducts. I mean, this one is intact still, but I would just super glue ducts together and it would be wobbly. And still, that's just the fun of flying and trying to hit that gap.
Yeah, always trying to hit that gap. Right, Mama? Did you like Ledrib? Like back in the day?
No. I mean, he's obviously a super good pilot, but I wouldn't be like, oh no, he's released a new video, I have to watch it.
What about Mr.
But
Steele?
I have to say, sometimes they did back in the days they did a lot of where the whole Rotor Eye crew would hit up the same spot, and then you would see a minute of footage of this pilot and a minute of footage of that pilot with the small FPV name just in the bottom corner. And there, I would say, the footage I enjoy most is probably the drip footage.
Yeah.
You had you had the one that was like on super high rates, and everybody had their signature move, like Stingy with his power loops, and Cricket FPV with all his backwards moves. But then I always thought, if I had to watch a whole video, I would probably still watch the Drip's video.
I like
Not to
Stingy
that
for
point.
education. Like Stingy teaches pretty well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, good reviews also of a couple of FPV parts, especially radios. Yeah, you learn a lot from the community, and you're one of the good ones, man, that teach back. I can't do it, but I also know there's people like you who do it, so I can just sit back and do my
Well, see,
part.
I don't like doing it either, but then there's things that like have been so frustrating for me to learn.
Yeah.
So it's like what I try to do is like we're talking. I'm not. I'm pointing at myself. I don't know what you're talking about. Why are you always trying to micromanage me? Look, it's right here. It's on me.
Well, now it's on you.
It was on you for a couple seconds. Get over yourself. So when I look into Joshua Bardwell video and I want to learn something and it takes 2 minutes and there's a whole 20-minute video, that drives me nuts too. Like I love Joshua Bardwell. If it wasn't for him, none of us would probably be able to fly. But it's just when you want to learn something, it's just like you want to learn it. So I try to, whenever I do something that I had to learn, if I can teach it super fast before I forget it from my mind, which happens anyways, I try to just like make a quick video. And there's no such thing as a quick video. As soon as you try to make a video, there goes like a few hours of your life.
Yeah. No, I did 2 videos explaining something, but I didn't really enjoy it, so I stopped. So it was both for one was like IGAO 4 tips for new pilots, which was like a 3-minute video thing. And the second one was a small thing where I figured out that if you mount this thing toilet tank style, the 75 Pro at that time, you could squeeze the motors through this gap, which for me, you know, in IGAO and breaking frames, every time changing a frame when you directly soldered your motors would mean like, you know, unsolder them, pull through the new motors. So for me, it was like, okay, I'm just going to fly toilet tank style, because then if I break a frame, I just have to remove the props and squeeze the motors through and squeeze them through the new frame and be done in like 20 minutes, as opposed to unsoldering and resoldering like 4 motors. Yes, I made a video with like my iPhone propped up and everything, but I didn't really enjoy it. So flight footage for me.
Did it do well compared to your others?
No. I mean, reasonably yes, because I posted it in the IGAO group on Facebook, where I would say I wouldn't say people know me, right? But if you've been in all the IGAOs and you've been in the finals 2 times, then a couple people know you and they like it and share it. So it did a little bit better, but like maybe 200 views instead of 100 or something like that. So it didn't blow up at all, or wasn't the intention. It was just if it helps a couple pilots who start with IGAO to you know, be prepped for the competition, then it's worth it. Yeah, you should get into whoops at some point. I mean, I know you've tried. But I mean, you're in Toronto, right? So how many months can you fly outside, or are you like?
I'll still go do like a pack or 2, so it's like it's not that bad, but it's just building dives, so it's like easy. I can be freezing, fly up to the top, fly down, but the batteries don't last as long too, so that's scary because you go from like 5-minute flight times in the summer to like 2-minute flight times in the winter.
Yeah, but you only have to go up, right? As long as you arrive at the top with low bat warning, the rest is just.
Well, that's the art of it. Like, you get the pace where the voltage is at like 360, and then you just hold that pace and you get close to the building so that there's less wind.
Yeah.
And then you just go to the top and then woo.
Yeah. Do you do long range at all or no?
Like, there's nothing inside me that gets joy out of just flying far and like not being an idiot. Like, I like diving because it's like it's aggressive. It's like you're trying not to hit the building. You're still trying to do spins and stuff. But the whole idea of just like, now if I had a mountain or like something beautiful to like go and then like, you know, do something fun on the way back. But it's just, what am I gonna do? Like, go long range down, dive some buildings over, you know, like. And then risk losing my drone or dropping the connection and hitting someone or something. You know what I mean? I like my connection to feel really nice and stable and strong, and the latency and everything, as you get further away, you get worse latency, you get worse connection of everything. So I'd rather be somewhere where I have that really strong connection, where I feel really, connected. And I always think I want to be a bloody ballerina. Like that's the thought. Like I want to be a ballerina in the sky.
Well, ballerina in the sky FPV. I think that name is still up for grabs. But yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, I tried it a couple times. It is exciting in the sense that, you're testing the limits of basically battery life and RC connection and video connection.
That's not exciting.
Huh?
That's not exciting. There's nothing exciting about it. It's
Well,
just, gee, I wonder how long I can go before it's gone. that sounds like fun because I don't already destroy everything.
Well, it's not exciting. It's nerve-wracking. So I get the people that like to do it, and then kind of make it up that, and then especially when you come down like a mountain ridge, and there's satisfaction in planning out your route that should have line of sight and everything should work, and you're still worried that something does not, and then when your quad is back from like a 10-minute flight, it's been away for 10 minutes and so far away, and now it's finally back. There's something like, it's not, I don't have a long range rig anymore, but it's the same with wings, because most of the wings, it's so cheap to put on a GPS.
Wings go so far anyways. Like I've never even messed with wings because I'm just like, how quickly your like VTX starts going blurry? Like, what do I want to do that even faster for?
Yeah. No, but you can freestyle wings. I mean, it's not as impressive as freestyling quads, but if you maybe you've seen like a Shelby Vol video.
I don't know. When you see the big ones freestyle though, like that looks sick. Like when you're seeing like those like the ones that look like little Top Gun jets. Like I love seeing those things like freestyle. Like I think that looks so cool. But at the same time, if you're not FPV, then it's like you're not in it. You know what I mean? So it's not going to feel. I think I get enough from FPV, and my wife would just kill me and I'd probably be pissed off, like always gluing pieces of foam back together and all that too.
Yeah, but Shelby Fall, he's the guy who took his wings to Rotorite Rampage, and he did a video on like wing freestyle that got quite a lot of views.
Cool.
Not sure if you've seen that video.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
That's what inspired me to fly wings. So I'm still trying to hit gaps and fly inverted and all that stuff, and it's pretty fun. It's very different because there's like no backing out of things. So like you approach a gap, there is no whoa, okay, let me try again and fly backwards, right? Once you're committed, there's like no turning back. I mean, obviously you can try to fly over it, but
is the tracking do you feel like the tracking is better or worse?
No, you can't stop with the wing, right? So if you commit to a gap and you fly towards it.
But I'm saying, is it easier, do you think, to hit the gap with the wing than it is with the quad?
No. It's that's the other thing. It's like, especially the lighter builds. So one I have is I mean, this thing here, Nano Goblin. This weighs, I think, without the battery, it weighs 230 grams.
So that's over my limit anyways.
So, if you imagine how big that is compared to, let's say, even the 5-inch, right? I mean, this thing is lighter.
I don't have the space.
Look how much attack area it has for wind, right? So every wind is like shaking the thing. That's why I have the Insta360, and here it's the Moonlight thing, which is like the 03 with 4K. Because if you share wing footage that is non-stabilized, it's like nobody's gonna watch it. You just get sick of it. Yeah.
It'd be fun. I think it'd be fun to battle with those because they're not as fast as quads, right?
Yeah. There's a FPV combat system. Even.
Yeah, it'd be fun. It'd be fun to battle with those things, I think.
Yeah, that would be really fun. I mean, there's I think it's called FPV Combat, which is like an infrared kind of, you can shoot each other down, and then and that's probably pretty fun. I haven't tried yet, but wings is a nice hobby. It messes with your drone skills though, because most of the fixed wing you don't have any yaw axis. So what you do is essentially roll and then pitch, and that's how you turn.
Okay, I get it.
And
That's
you have
interesting.
0-degree cam angle, right? When you pull up throttle, you go faster in that direction, and you don't pull up. So it like messes with a lot of the things that you learn in flying quads. So I mean, obviously you get better at switching every time you do it, but after the first 3 months or so, I flew wings and I went back to quads. It's like barely turn. And did all sort of crazy things, like instead of turning smoothly, I was like, what are you doing? That's not how
Really?
you
It's
turn a
not like
quad.
your brain just knows, like, okay, now I'm driving a car, now I'm driving a motorcycle. Don't you feel like it's kind of like, okay, now I'm flying a quad, now I'm
Yeah,
flying
if
a
you
wing?
switch enough, you get to it, right?
Yeah.
You but in the beginning it was I didn't account for it. I thought my quad skills will stay the same, and I'll just add on new skills on wings, but it was more like a penalty.
Okay, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go pee pee. Do you have to make a pee pee?
Yeah, you go make pee-pee. Yeah.
Okay,
Let me
pee pee
talk.
break.
That's good. Do that.
Okay. I'm gonna make myself a tea. Oh, pee pee. Okay, so what was it? I forgot. I had one of those things where it's like, this drives me nuts and I can't think of it now. Oh yes, okay. So I stayed up all night bloody making a 17-minute vlog. Like, it's a beautiful vlog on my personal channel that has like parts of the footage, like the best parts and everything, cut with music and everything. And that one got like 2 views. And then I uploaded just the flight footage with no music, with like there it is. There's the footage. I stick that on the drone channel, and that already got like, I don't know, like 50 views. And I'm just like, and that's what pisses me off the most probably about YouTube, when you do like high effort and nobody sees it, and then you do low effort and then it just like takes off or something.
Yeah. If you do it for the views, yeah, obviously. And there's part of it that wants to have views. Look, this is the wing footage. I'm actually not sure if you can see.
That's yours, or this is the one that inspired you?
That's Shelby Vol doing it, and like you wouldn't know if you don't fly wings. This looks like just going straight, but all this stuff, doing it with a wing,
Yeah,
is it's
really
amazing.
hard. Yeah, I can tell because I've seen what wing footage looks like.
Yeah.
So is this like his like a custom built wing or a specific like nice wing?
This is no, it's just I think it's very close to this one.
Okay.
This one here.
Okay.
So this one is broken right now, but
Yeah, it
it's
looks
just
ugly.
yeah, it's just two servos, a motor, and a camera up front, and that's the thing he's flying.
My wife already wants to kill me.
You mean without you buying new toys, or?
Yeah, she's always mad at me for something.
Don't be
And
harsh on her.
it used to bother me, but now it's just like one of the simple joys in my life is just finding more ways to just annoy her, you know?
Well,
She's one of those people too where it's just like if you annoy her, she's like if you're mean, she likes you more, you know? She's one of those people. And when you're nice to her, it's just she'll be even worse. So
you will be worried once she stops reacting.
yeah. So for me it's like, you know, when you rev an engine on a motorcycle, like that's how I'm programmed to deal with her. Like I'm just like, hey.
Yeah, how's she dealing with you? You do vlogs, right? You do a lot of content.
She's always mad at me. But that's part of what people love. Like people come to like, they're like, I can't believe you post that, or I can't believe like I'm like, me and my wife bicker too, but it's just like if I posted it, I'd be dead, you know? But like for me, like I just post everything, so it's not like because most vlogs, lots of the time it's women watching them. There's not as many men watching vlogs unless it's some maybe super attractive woman. But it's just like you don't really get men watching vlogs. And then I have a whole pile of like 30 to 40-year-old men watching my vlogs that are like, they're like, oh my God, like that
You hit the
happened to me
jackpot.
too. You know, that happened to me too, or it's just like, I can't believe you did that. I can't believe you said that. Or it's just like, I don't know, like yesterday, I don't know, I was talking about the eclipse, and I'm just like, you think the natives back in the day wore sunglasses? They looked at it. You think they went all blind?
Yeah. How was it, the eclipse? Was it as spectacular as you'd hoped?
It was cool. Like it was cool, like in the middle of the day for it to all go black and to
Yeah.
fly your drone and it just be like all black. Like that
Yeah,
was
that's what
like,
I would do. I would trippy spin the sucker until the battery dies, just the sun.
have you messed with 3D? Have you tried that?
No. Probably my brain couldn't handle it, to be honest.
See, that's like what I'm planning to get into later.
Yeah, but there's I know the, what's his name? Danish
Zoe.
Stallion?
Oh, what?
No, Danish Stallion is a guy I know because, we discussed a lot the Fox here frame back in the days. And there was a show called Super Critical FPV Show where we both submitted videos. So I got to talk to him, and he started 3D flying, I think, 2 months ago. So now he's a good FPV pilot to begin with, but the rate at which he's learning new tricks is like, I mean, Zoe FPV gets her credit. She pioneered it, sort of. But what he's doing now is just, and if you see his channel, you'll see like maybe 2-3 months ago, he did his first pack, and then he just did a couple packs every day. And now he's really good. So if anything, if I would try 3D, I would definitely hit him up and get to learn most from him.
But do you see how black that is? Like the sky was like that. Like it was just like, it was like flying at night. And it was like that for like 2 minutes, 2-3 minutes. And then here we have when the sky starts to like come back. Like it was just nuts.
It was gone for a second, I think. Yeah, I saw that video a little bit, so I didn't know if you messed with the post-production to make it more dramatic, or if it was like
I didn't even grade it. The only thing that I did, I ran it through gyro. I ran it through GyroFlow. I always screw up on that. I don't know, like, but when I do it, I'd like there's like if you put in your footage, it gives you the option to have like 5 smoothness. I take it all the way down to like 2, so it's like it's barely anything. It's just like a slight run through, and I didn't color grade it at all. And basically, like you're seeing, like in a video, you literally see as I'm flying, it starts to get darker, and then you see it start to get brighter, and it was all real. So I didn't, because I'm still gonna do like my edit for it, but
yeah, but I think the thing is gone when you edit it, right?
well,
And people will say, like, I mean, unless you put like a big disclaimer, I didn't mess with any of the
I
brightness.
don't give a crap about any of that. That's where it's just, to me, I think lots of people also understand when they see my videos that it's like I cut to the beat. Like lots of the time I'll cut to the beat, I'll speed things up. So what I'll do is I won't speed up tricks. Like whenever there's a trick, I leave it, but then I'll cut out the boring parts. I'll try to cut to the beat, and then I'll speed up like the longer segments that are clean without tricks.
Yeah.
Because it's so
I
much
used to do the same for a couple of videos.
It's more fun to see like 3 minutes of the best than to watch a bloody 5 to 10 minute flight video. No one does that. No one will watch it.
Yeah, that's so true. I mean, all my videos are essentially below 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And even then, I know the ones that watch the whole thing are just my close FPV buddies, but the rest is like skipping around.
But a hack to get people to watch more, if you wanted to, is you throw the footage into CapCut. I've been using CapCut a lot lately because it just makes things easy. But you can do voice over very easily, and then if you want, what you can do is you take because that's what I found. If you take the longer footage and you just talk about it, like, so I'll put up like a 15-minute video, talk about the footage, and then people will actually like watch and enjoy that more. Like, and I literally just played it and talked over it once versus like 3 hours to make like a 3-minute cut. But I'll still always do those cuts because it's like I enjoy it. Like to me, when I make flight videos, it's like painting. It's like art. It's like I feel like there's expression in those videos, and I just like I do my vlog and I do my other channels, and it's all more like a bit more work. But then, like to edit a FP video, a non-educational FPV video, just to do a cut with a song, like finding the music, putting it together, that to me is like joy. It's like my ultimate procrastination.
Yeah.
Like I should do
are
something.
so nice, right?
Yeah.
Especially with HT0, I see more also like micropilots who do a voiceover of them just flying and talking into the microphone, which to me it's super enjoyable. I mean, it used to be you had a second chest mount GoPro and whatnot, so only like the real famous pilots would do it, right?
Yeah.
Like the Steele used to do it a lot, and like, whoa, okay, there's a gap, let's try to find it, and I almost crashed and things like that. But now with the HG0 goggles, which I don't have.
I don't either.
Yeah, I know a couple pilots who do it, and it's always like enjoyable because there's like, oh, let's go over there. So exactly what you're saying, right? Even if they're flying from one obstacle to the other, if you hear that, like, oh, okay, let's go check out what's over there, and then you're invested, right? You want to see what that person finds and how that person reacts. So it's I've tried stick cam once, but it's just so much work with like syncing up the
It's
the
pretty, so
footage.
with stick, I like, to me, I don't get you don't need to stick cam, like nobody really, I don't know, I personally, I learn the most from watching the flight. Like if you watch the flight, you learn the most. Like it can open up your mind to like the things that they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, nobody learns from it really.
The stick cam,
I think it's mostly for non-FPV flyers that don't understand how you make that drone do what it does.
Yeah.
So just having that little box that shows, no, it's 2 thumbs or 2 sticks, and we control everything with 2 sticks, and all the power loops and crazy split S and maneuvers and trying to hit that gap. It's all done with like skill. I think for that, stick cams is like really, really good, right? And a lot of pilots, they just want a GoPro here. They need to film something. So either you film your face the whole time, or you film the remote.
I've been doing that with the reviews. I have this stupid necklace I put around, and it does right in my face. So I think it's funny. I did a stick cam with my feet once. I don't know if you saw that. It's just stupid. Like I just have my toes like flicking the things around. Just being dumb, right?
Yeah, you try. When you do it for long enough, you try out all difference. Once in IGAO, in International Games, in finals, you have to start. So until finals, FPV Skittles, so Dan Sugano, he gives you weekly challenges, right, which you have to master. But once you're in finals, the finalists have to give each other challenges. So you have to think of a challenge. And when I was in finals, I think it was IGAO 2 or something, I knew that I couldn't compete with skill because there's so many good pilots that could, power loop gaps like this and trippy spin indoors and stuff. So what I did is I gave them. Do you know the Pilot One Left FPV? It's like a dude. He literally only has one arm. So he does this, right? So I said, okay, let's do a one left FPV challenge. So all the pilots in the finals, I think it was like 16 pilots, they had to do like a power loop and orbits with only one hand. And that was a super fun week because at the beginning you can't even hover. But if you try it for like a couple days, you can fly reasonably okay. I mean, obviously you can't do all the hard tricks, but I think if I tried now, I could probably still do like basic orbits with just one hand.
Yeah.
And it took me like a week to learn it, but it's like stupid stuff like this you start to do when you fly FPV for long enough.
You end up being even better.
Maybe we can fly 2 drones at once.
The nipple cams.
At this point, I'm not getting any better. I think it's also not the goal. I mean, I fly on weekends with friends until my wife tells me to come home. So it's like, finding new spots, not being afraid to crash things. But I mean, maybe get a little bit better, but definitely not. I'm never going to be a top skilled pilot, but it's okay. It's a fun.
Yeah, I get that too. Like for me, I'm never going to be a winning racing pilot.
Do you race?
I go to the races, but I do terrible. But it's like I have fun and I don't get it doesn't really bother me or affect it's fun to do. I think that racing makes you better. Like it gives you better control and stuff. So and you get to be around some people. But for me, like the end goal is to be shooting concerts. Like I just want to be flying over a poop ton of people. I like those like the high stress environments. Like where lots of like FPV pilots, like it tends to keep people like me out of it more because like the aggressive crazy people don't have the attention span or the patience to deal with fixing drones and building them and doing all that crap. So it kind of keeps more crazy people out of it because of that. And then you find a lot of these like really smart techie like nerdy guys that get into it and then they don't have that they don't have the aggressive mindset.
Yeah.
So doing certain things like that would like not make them feel comfortable or they get scared or get worried. Yeah. So for me, like that's kind of my strength. Like I just don't give a crap. Like like doing that stuff that would
vegan
be like,
FPV, vegan FPV of Canada.
yeah, like doing that stuff that is more like high risk or whatever. Like I don't feel any like risk. I feel totally like happy and joyous. And if I'm not doing those kind of things, like I'm not really enjoying it. Like if I'm not doing something that's kind of like on the edge, like to me that's the point of FPV. It's to have that like freedom. And then there'd be people that do the same thing where it's like, oh, you're gonna ruin the hobby. But I'm just like, I just think about my buddy in Dubai. He designed a frame called the Patch Ray, and I flew his
Okay.
frame like for until I started making my own. His like I just kept flying the Patch Ray. It was like my favorite drone. And basically in Dubai, someone flew a drone into an airplane or something, and
Oh, really?
now FPV is not allowed. So it got banned. So like I kind of look at it like we're gonna have it or we're not. And someone diving a building, you know, is not gonna like doing silly stuff isn't gonna be what make us lose the hobby. You know, someone maybe kills somebody by like, you know, fail safing and a 5-inch smashes through their head or something like that. Or like someone puts a bomb on a drone or something like that. Like it's like these are the like it's those crazy extreme things that we don't have control over, and those are the things that are going to destroy us and or people within the hobby that just can't play well with others, so try to ruin it for everyone else. Like those are the people that are actually like the worst for the community. It's like the rats, the miserable rats.
Well, we'll enjoy it while it lasts.
Exactly. So I'm like, as long as I can do what like I was at Niagara yesterday. I wanted to dive the falls. Like I even talked to the cops, and the cops are like, we won't give you a ticket or anything. Like, yeah, you're not allowed, but people do it all the time. But I'm just like, it is Class F airspace, and like Toronto is all Class C. So
Yeah.
you can't fly 5 inches, you can't fly over 250, but 250 and under is like a free for all. And yeah, it's like a little bit ridiculous that I can legally dive buildings downtown Toronto, but technically I'm not supposed to fly in a park because like
Yeah.
Toronto parks, you're not supposed to like fly in. So it's just, but yeah, I didn't do like flying downtown in Niagara because it's Class F airspace. So it's like I try to follow the rules, even though I did want to dive like the Niagara Tower there. It was
Yeah.
there, and it like it hurt my soul not to fly it. But it's like,
Well,
and
it's the
in
same
that
thing I
way,
did in I mean the Hawaii crew was super nice. So I dove a couple buildings in Honolulu,
yeah,
and I posted it obviously in the Hawaii FPV group. And then the admin, he approached me on DM, and it was like, we know it's a tiny whoop, but you know we've had trouble with some tourists flying. I think it was 5-inch or so all through downtown Honolulu, and so apparently the FAA visited the group a couple of times. So please take it down. You can share it in your local group in Europe or wherever. We don't care. So he was super chill.
yeah,
And again, if you understand, it's been this thing. I think it was the
yeah.
same thing. This one or a whoop that goes up and down a couple stories. It's okay, but yeah.
And that's where
There's
like even adding at the beginning of your video, like just hey, I'm flying this, like it that's something pretty simple that you can do, but it's just I found that since doing that, it doesn't take that much effort, and you're just like, okay, so today I'm flying this, and you just kind of
yeah.
show it, and then whatever you do, like people know. Like I haven't been bothered much about like people thinking I'm flying a 5-inch, but I think my whole channel is focused on like sub 250, so
Yeah.
I don't get bothered as much.
Yeah, it's
Every now
definitely
and
the way.
then. What?
Micros is the way. I mean, 5 inches is super cool and everything.
Uh-oh. You froze. Hello.
Maybe I'm back.
Is your phone dying?
I'm not sure actually. Wait, let me see. No, I still have 60%, but
Oh, nice. Okay, I'm gonna plug mine in. Ariel left me a Krispy Kreme, it seems. She's such a terrible influence. My wife is just the devil with delicious food.
yeah, but micros is definitely also, I think, the way to go. It's
I think it's the future. Like I think
they become more and more capable. I mean, 5 years ago, if somebody told me 1080p footage out of this thing, I'd have said, yeah, never gonna happen. And now here we are. And I'm sure 2-3 years from now, this thing will look as ridiculous as the drones when I strap the naked Vista on a tiny whoop and try to fly it. But it's gonna get there.
Like I wish the O3 wasn't so good. If the O3 wasn't as good, I would just fly bloody analog.
Yeah, the only reason I didn't get into O3 was because it didn't fit in any of my micros.
Well, all you gotta do is strip it naked.
Yeah, but it's one thing to strip a $100 Vista naked, and another thing to strip down and I crash too much to do it. If I were to fly chill and cinematic, then maybe, but I pretty much crash every single lipo
So then
into
you need
something,
your
trying to do
chill
something
cinematic rig.
stupid.
You need your chill cinematic rig.
Yeah, maybe when I'm 50.
That's right. That's
When I'm 50 and my reflexes are down, and then I'll switch to cinematic.
what the heck? Okay. So that's the other thing I say. As soon as I get like caught or busted or tickets or whatever, then I'll become a cinematic pilot. You'll know my heart is gone. Like when you see only cinematic videos or like just good boy. I don't know. I probably stop.
Yeah, I mean FPV is a feeling.
Mhm.
Experience you want to keep as long as you can. I mean, I'm wondering why there's not much other FPV stuff. I mean, there's a couple guys trying FPV RC cars and stuff like that, and boats, but it's just nothing above flying.
It's because it's hard. And most people aren't willing to do what's difficult. Like it takes a certain type of person. And like it's funny because it's almost like there's the two extremes. Like there's like the fun ones, and then like you get like a lot of the nerdy ones. And then some of the nerdy ones are really good, and then some of the nerdy ones are like really like bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but essentially you want problem solvers, right? So many things in a build don't work, or you have to figure out something, design a custom TPU part just for the purpose of fitting this thing. I mean, it's one of the things I like about the hobby is like even this thing is, I was too cheap to buy a all-in-one, which would clearly fit in here because I had an old 20x20 all-in-one. So I spent, filing things away just to fit it. And the reason, the first place why I have this strange 20x20 all-in-one is because I used to love the old micro reverb frame, which was the one before Apex, which only had a 20x20 mount. So I was like, okay, but I want to cram a Vista and everything into that frame that was clearly from 2000, I don't know, 18 or so, before all this digital stuff existed. So it was me spending days researching parts and things just to make that frame work. And this one is the other way around. Now I have the electronics that are non-standard, and I still try to fit it into a frame that's not designed for it. This thing is a, it's a twig frame with ducts put on it. There's like little adapter things, and I had to mount the FC the wrong way because Beta FPV decided to ditch the USB and put this little appendix thing in front. So I mounted it like the wrong way, and now it's toilet tank and everything. But it's just, figuring out how to solve things. It would be too easy to have a complete part list, right? Build it yourself DIY kit that comes with frame, and just do it by the numbers, and this screw first, and then these settings. It's not what I enjoy. It's like
That's
trying
no
to
fun.
figure out.
It's like me with Fusion. I don't want to watch Fusion tutorials. I just want to figure it out and spend 5 times longer.
Hey, you know what? I just the doorbell rang. I think my family is coming home.
Okay.
So we'll call it a day for now. But thanks a lot for having me. It's been super fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It was nice to get to know you better. And
let's keep on chatting. Maybe not on live stream all the time, but I'll definitely reach
here
out.
and there, like anytime you want to share anything with me, just shoot me a message and
Will do.
okay.
All right. Hey, have a great day. Thanks a lot.
See you, buddy.
Bye.
Bye.